My help if we turn the microphone on. Welcome back to From the Shed and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe. You let us know your thoughts, all that good stuff. This is an emergency meeting. This is an emergency meeting. This is a meeting because I feel like Maresca is losing the dressing room at Chelsea. I feel like he's lost the dressing room. I feel like Cobham is no longer Cobham. I feel like there's so many things to unpick at Chelsea at the moment. Make sure if you're here, you get involved in the discussion. This is an emergency meeting. I want to hear from you guys in the chat on the live stream as well. So make sure you get involved. What is happening at Chelsea Football Club? What is happening at the club that we all support? We all want to see do well. Maresca is losing the dressing room very, very quickly. You got Reece James coming out after the game and saying if you don't prepare, then you're gonna pay. We never prepared for Legia Warsaw. Clearly, we never prepared for them. I feel like there's so many things fundamentally wrong at Chelsea Football Club. And it's not just with Maresca. I think Maresca is going to take a lot of the fall for a lot of the things that are happening at the football club. Because ultimately, his job is the one that people will look at and say, you're the one that's picking the team. You know, your coaches are you're helping with your coaches to train these players. But we're all sounding like a scratch record at this football club. There's no leaders in our team. We don't have leaders in the team. We don't have people in our team good enough to lead this young group of players. We haven't got a John Terry, a Gary Cahill, a Thiago Silva. We haven't got none of those in this team. First time a Polish team has beaten an English team. Legia Warsaw. Credit to them because they actually played decent on Thursday night. But if you watch that game and you still are not questioning Maresca, if you're watching that game and you're not questioning the manager, then I have a problem with you because you can't watch that and not see that there's problems with this manager. This manager is picking a team. Do you know how many times we've had three right backs on our bench? Three right backs, and we're playing Trevor Chalobah. Reece James in midfield, he tried it before, it didn't work. I don't know. I don't know whether the manager for me has to take some of the fall for this. But I'm not going to stop with the manager. Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart have to get out the club. They have to get out the club. They can't stay at the club. They're the bigger problem. They're the bigger problem. And I tell you another thing as well. Now the fans are losing the patience with Maresca and these owners and the sporting directors because I think it was 29,000 on Thursday night. It's probably one of the lowest attendances at Stamford Bridge in years. I've been calling for that. I've been saying that we need to hit them where it hurts, in the pockets of the owners. And that's the only way these owners are ever going to turn up and start listening to fans. When we stop going to the games, when we stop buying the merchandise, when we stop feeding the bullshit that they're giving us. Legia Warsaw. And there's still people out there think that we're good enough for the Champions League as well. Honest question. Are we good enough for Champions League football? Are we good enough for Champions League football? We're not even good enough for the Europa League right now. But you've got fans in the fan base telling us that Champions League football, yes, we need to be in it, but what's the point? So you want to go into the Champions League with that squad and do what? Because we're not winning it. We don't get out the new knockout phase. We're not going to get into the top 18 teams or whatever it is to get out the Champions League group. So what are we doing in the Champions League? Making more money for the owners. Let's be realistic for a second. Do we not want to see our football club come back to where it was under Roman Abramovich? Do we not want to see our football club back to the times when we were winning, dominating the Premier League? We were competing at the top level in European football. I'm doubting if we even beat Fiorentina or Real Betis in the final of the Conference League right now. That's where we are as a football club. We've gone from top pedigree managers, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, Carlo Ancelotti. We've gone from that to mediocre. Let's have it right. Let's be honest. Enzo Maresca is riding his luck right now. He's at a club that is prestige, is known for winning stuff. We're settling for top four, possible top five, and we're marking that down as a good season. Like reality check. Reality. This is the emergency meeting. Reality check. Reality check. We've got to be honest. We lost to a team that's fifth in the Polish league. No disrespect to them. Spurs. If you think about it, if Spurs go and win the Europa League now, which is still a part, even United, let's throw United in there as well. If they win the Europa League and then go into the Champions League next season, and they still finish 14th or 13th thereabout in the Premier League this season, they've actually had a better season than us. Because if we miss out on the Champions League and we either don't win the Conference League, or even if we do win the Conference League, we've still had our season's been. What would you rather take at the end of that season? A Europa League and a Champions League spot for next season with a bit of progress? Or would you rather be in the Conference League going into the Europa League with the squad that we've got? Amarin's going to get money next season. He'll get money next season. Arnie Slot's going to get some money next season. I can't even if we spend money, it doesn't matter because the way that we're spending the money is not in the right way. It's not in the right areas. We're buying too many kids. No leaders. No Thiago Silvas. No John Terry's. No, we haven't got nothing in this squad that makes me think actually I can see the progress. We're 4 years into this project. I still don't see the progress. I don't see the vision. I don't see the direction. I don't see any of it. I don't see where we're going with this football club. We're banking on Man City losing today to Everton in the hope that it gives us an opportunity to then claw back some points tomorrow against Fulham. That's where we are as a football club. We used to win the Premier League. It used to be us at the top of the Premier League looking down. Now we're hoping for Everton to do us favours. Everything that Roman built at this football club has gone. Everything. It's almost like when you get a house, you buy the house, you knock the house down, and you build a new modern house, and all the stuff that was there before, all the history, the layout, everything has gone. And now we've just got this new flashy sort of new modern thing that no one actually really likes, but we've got to live in it now. All mod cons, all that in the house, but there's nothing in it. There's no family togetherness in the house. It's just a house that looks amazing. Roman built this football club up from the ground up. He built it. He invested his money into the football club. He built a football club. He when we needed players, he addressed it straight away. Right, we need a striker. We're gonna go and get one. Right, we need a midfielder. We're gonna go and get one. We need a defender. Right, who do you want? You Abramovich would address it. And when things weren't working well, you know what happens. The helicopter at Cobham was there. Monday morning, the helicopter flies in. P45, get out the door. Another elite manager comes in. Now we've got owners saying, actually, you know what? If we don't get the Champions League, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all right. Next season, don't worry about it. That's the level we are now. It's not good enough. It is not good enough. I agree. I agree in the chat. I agree. He's got to go. He's got to go. Big up the legends. The sporting directors need to go. And the good news is that our investors are losing patience with this stupid project. Everyone hit the like and subscribe. It's free. Appreciate that, Rich. Appreciate that 100%. I agree. I think now you're seeing there's a definite divide between obviously Todd Bowley and Blueco, Egbali side of things. You can see there's a divide. There's been a divide when the Athletic reported on it last year. And I think they've done well to cover it up for so long. But if we're being honest, the investors are right because we've spent over 1.6 billion And if I remember correctly, the losses for this reporting period is close to £1 billion. They've hemorrhaged and threw away £1 billion. So we're talking about this profit because we sold the women's team, but actually we've made a debt. We're in deficit. We're still in the red because we're still losing money regardless of how much we've made in terms of the profit. It's not enough. And some of these investors are right to question these owners now, because if you're 3 years into a project and us fans are saying, actually, what's the vision? If we're saying it, I can only imagine the investors are thinking, flipping out, my money's in this thing and I'm not sure I'm going to get return on what I put in or even get my money back. I might lose my money in this situation. So I think at the moment now, the sporting directors are clearly a massive problem at this football club. I'll be honest, I don't think sacking Maresca will change things, but I also don't want him to stay at the club either. I don't want to see him next season. The question is who comes in? Who comes in to replace him? Can they afford to sack Maresca? We brought in Pochettino. Sorry, no, we brought in Graham Potter. If you remember, we paid off Tuchel, had to pay him up. We then had to pay Brighton close to, I think it was 80 million to get his coaching staff and pay him out of his contract, Graham Potter. We then sacked Graham Potter after, wasn't it like less than 2 years into his 8 year or 6 year contract or whatever it was. We had to pay him up, which is why he's only returned back to West Ham after so many years out of football, because he's been getting paid a lovely amount of money from Chelsea. We then bring in Pochettino and do exactly the same with him. We then sack Pochettino, or if he leaves, if you want to say he left, whatever, but we sacked him theoretically. He walked away because he wasn't happy with the project. We still had to pay him up. We pay him up. We then bring in Enzo Maresca, who is not proven in the Premier League. He's not even, he nearly threw away Leicester's season when he promoted them. He nearly threw it away. And if you talk to Leicester fans, you talk to them, you can see that there's discontent there. They weren't happy with the way that Maresca was playing football near the end of his time there. Yes, they got promoted, but it was a struggle for them. It was a massive struggle for them to get that over the line. And if you go to Strasbourg as well, they are not happy with these owners. They are not happy. They've never been happy with these owners. They've always come out and been protesting and voicing their opinions in the stadium. Same thing that's happening now with us. It's the same thing. Oh, okay. Rich is saying in the chat, there's been an urgent meeting called this weekend, and guess what? The sporting directors want more years. The investors weren't happy that the low attendance in the quarterfinal, the protest 4 weeks ago. I agree. I agree. And I understand why there's unrest, but the sporting directors have had 3 years. The sporting directors have had 3 years to get something right with this football club, or even show us fans there's something to work with. If you bring an elite manager in, here's a question for everyone in the chat. If there's an elite manager, I'm talking a Carlo Ancelotti, Jurgen Klopp, I'm talking someone of that level. If they had this crop of players, I'm not saying they would turn things around like that. I don't think this is a quick turnaround. It's not a quick fix for this solution, but surely they would do better with this group. We've got look at the players we've got. We've got Noni Madueke, who, yes, he's not the best player, but I'm pretty sure if you got an elite manager, you could get more out of him. We had Cole Palmer under Pochettino, was balling out of his skin. Now he looks like a shadow of his former self. You got Cole Palmer. You got Nicholas Jackson, who is very raw, but I think if you had the right manager, the right coaches around him, I think you get something more out of him. We've got Pedro Neto. These are not crap players. They're not players that are going to end up at Burnley next season. These are players that could Enzo Fernandez could go and play for Real Madrid. Moises Caicedo could go and play for Real Madrid, Liverpool. These are top players at the football club. And we have to question the goalkeeper situation, but that's a different story. But if you're talking about a spine, it's almost there. You've got two of the best midfielders in Enzo and Caicedo. You have Andre Santos coming in next season, who's been playing very well for Strasbourg. You got Tariq George, who I'm a big fan of. Achi Mpong, big fan of. Reece James, on his day, is one of the best right backs in the world. We've got a good crop of players here, but when you got that manager with the negative mentality of it's okay to come out the FA Cup and lose to Brighton, and then you get smashed anyway by Brighton the next game. When you're losing back-to-back since 1979, Ipswich have done a double over us. It's not acceptable as a football club. It can't be that can't be our benchmark is losing back-to-back games for over 40 years, whatever it is, 40 years plus to Ipswich. Rotating the squad. Get your consistent back four. Get Mark Cucurella, Colwell or Chalobah, whoever it is that's the centre back partnership, and get Reece James back at right back. If he gets injured, he gets injured. But all this managing his minutes and he can only play one game here and there. It's Reece James. He's the captain of the club. He's the captain of the club. He's got to play games. If he's on the bench, he's got to play. If he's on the bench, he's fit enough to play the games. How have you got one of the best right backs? And I'll even scratch that. You've got Josh Ashiempong who can actually do a job at right back. How have you got two of those and you're playing Trevor Chalobah at right back? That's nonsense. If this carries on, first of all, I said it last week, we don't need Champions League football. Financially, we need Champions League football. For us fans and the quality and the standard of football we're showing right now, we would be the laughing stock of the Champions League. We would be the laughing stock of the Champions League. It ain't good enough. Yeah, selling the hotels, the Chelsea women's football team looks like it will go through. It's already gone through. I think we've already sold. We've already sold the hotels and the women's football team to the Blue Co, whatever it's called, the under the umbrella. So they've basically found that loophole and sold the. It's not that can only work for so long. You can only sustain that when you first come into it. And let's not forget, when they took over the club, it was debt free. There was no debt on the club. Roman wiped all the debts off. He said, I just want my money out the club. Forget the loans, forget all the repayments, forget all of that. I just want my money out there. And they've still got his money. The government still have Roman Abramovich's money. Can you believe it? After 3 years, this urgent thing, we have to get Roman off Chelsea. We need to get him out of the club. We need to get him. He needs to sell it. You need to get rid of the club. And guess what? They still have the money, the government, after all these years. So was it really a thing about Roman getting him out of the club, or was it a fact that they just didn't want a Russian owner to own an English football club? Because to be honest, now I'm starting to question what was the point in Roman having to sell the club, especially when there's more greater things going on in the world as well. Let's be honest, and let's not. I mean, let's keep it football, but on a political level, there's a lot more things going on that the UK government are also funding and helping, and it's the same thing. So there's a bit of a contradiction there. But back to the football. Sporting directors have got to go. Can you believe we had Luis Enrique came to Chelsea, came to Cobham with a dossier? Each player, he had everything about each of the players. Luis Enrique, whilst he was getting interviewed by the club, he had a dossier of all the players and what he expected of them and what he wanted to do with them at Chelsea. And the owners turned him down. The owners bamboozled him that much. He said, actually, I don't want to join this football club. This is where we are as a football club. We're getting rid of everything that the club stood for. All the quality, all the good things, the good quality stuff on and off the field. You're getting rid of Marina Granovskaya, getting rid of Petr Cech. She might not have been everyone's cup of tea, but do you know what? It worked. It was sustainable. This club ran better without Roman Abramovich in the country than it is with our owners sat somewhere generating and earning money from our football club. And guess what? We've got two sporting directors. Do you know how embarrassing this is? We've got two sporting directors. We've got how many owners that want to call themselves the top owners, the sort of Blue Co and Todd Bowley and all the rest of it. We've gone through 4 managers, I think, in the space of 3 years, and we're yet to win a trophy. We're yet to win a trophy. Oh, and also, we've only been in the Champions League once in that 4 years, I think. And even that was painful because Graham Potter was in charge and Graham Potter was starstruck that he was in the Champions League for some reason. So we are in crisis period now. See what Rich is saying in the chat. There are loads of people wanting me to push another protest at Everton games, and this is to stop the game and waiting for more responses. I'll be honest. Listen. I was at the last protest and it worked, but the problem is that when people protest, and I didn't do this, I literally protested and went back home. But some people will protest and then walk through the gates of Stamford Bridge. It's pointless. You may as well just not protest because It's like protesting in the stadium. They've already won. They've got your money. Like, just we need to stop buying. Like, here's a prime example. I got an email yesterday. I think it was, I can't remember what game it was, but they literally said the Westview stand tickets are on sale now. This club just wants to push money down your throat. They'll release all the training tops they want, all of the rest of it. They're literally sucking every pound out of our football club right before our eyes, and everyone's still sort of in the clouds about it. Everyone's in the clouds about it. No one's actually thinking, hold on a minute. Look at United, the situation they're in. They're having to get rid of the kitchen staff, remove lunches from. We will be there in a couple of years. We will be in a situation where there's the money's gone. They can't spend any more money. They can't spend any more money now, to be fair. So, yep, I agree, Steve. I don't recognize them either. I don't recognize the club. We're not even Chelsea anymore. We're CFC London, CFC LDN FC with a Jordan logo on the badge next season. It's just all American now. It's all Americanized, and to be honest as well, it's a shame because I've grew up in. I mean, I'm older than a lot of Chelsea fans of today, but I've grew up in the times when things weren't great at Chelsea. We weren't one of these high flying Chelsea teams. We were currently where we are now. So I've seen it before, and I've seen the good years through Roman's time as well. And I'm not saying that we should be spoiled and privileged and we should just be winning stuff. But when you spend 1.6 billion pounds, you expect to see a little bit more from your football club. You expect to see a little bit more fight. Not to compare the two, but look at United the other night. They scored 3 goals, I think, against Lyon in the Europa League. They dug deep. Yes, they've only done it once for the season, but it shows commitment. We went down to Legia Warsaw, and I think that's probably one of the, and I say this quite often under this new ownership, but that might be one of the worst performances I've ever seen Chelsea play, ever, ever. That might be one of the worst performances I've ever witnessed from Chelsea Football Club on Thursday night. Forget the attendance, 29,000 speaks volumes. But for the captain to come out afterwards and say, we actually didn't do our job. We didn't prepare for this game. Maresca's losing the dressing room. He's losing the dressing room. Plain and simple. Your players are coming out and saying, you're not the guy for us. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. They're coming out and saying, well, you're not the guy. Cole Palmer, there was an Instagram he put out, I think the other last week, and it says something like enjoyment. I didn't actually read too much of it. I just thought it's just Cole Palmer being Cole Palmer. He's saying it was a good goal. I think it was on the anniversary of the goal that he scored. It might have been against Everton. But now I'm reading into it, I'm thinking, actually, Cole Palmer, if you look, this is 14 games, I think, coming up that he hasn't scored a goal. This is Cole Palmer that was banging goals left, right, centre. Strangely, when he was playing off the right of the attack. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Showman, karaoke, that's right. They all told him that's all he needs to do to have the ability to say yes, I agree. Vestas want minimum Europa League. Minimum Europa League. Europa League's not a step up, is it? But I agree. That's what if that's what they want, then I get it. There'll be more money in all the European Cups next season, but Europa League minimum. Even potential sponsors want Europa League. Agreed. Maresca's lost the dressing room. Palmer is going if Maresca stays. I agree with that as well. I agree with that. I agree. I think Palmer probably looks at this project and thinks, actually, I would have rather stayed at City and played part bit football. And to be honest, the way the City have had this season, he would have actually got a lot of game time at City, Cole Palmer. I think he'll go. I think he'll go in the next season or two. You got to remember, there's a World Cup coming up. There's a World Cup coming up. Some of these players want to be playing in the Champions League. They're seeing Jude Bellingham, Trent, flipping Ian Matson last season. They're seeing them playing in Champions League, the top level. Top level. We're scrambling to try and beat Legia Warsaw. They're not going to want to sit and play for a manager that is telling you it's okay to get knocked out of the FA Cup. It's okay to finish fifth. Don't worry about it. A manager that's turning on his own fan base and saying that the fans are the reason that we lost the game to Ipswich. Can't happen. Where does that? What other manager? You know, if this was Roman, I'm telling you from now, bank holiday Monday or not, if we lose to Fulham tomorrow, bank holiday or not, helicopter would be at Cobham. Club statement. You'd get the notification. Club statement. You sat P45. Get out of the club. It's simple. Roman was. People talk about Roman and how he kept swapping and changing managers, but you know what? It worked. It actually worked. Just go back and look at Roman's success, and it worked. The thing, like I said before, was that Roman was changing the managers with elite managers. The only manager, and look, he's a club legend. The only manager that Roman probably picked, maybe two, Avram Grant. I'll throw Avram Grant in there as well. But the other manager was Frank Lampard. Was not at the level that we needed at the time. And Frank come in because of the transfer ban. And guess what? He still got us top four anyway. We still got, bearing in mind it was the last game of the season, but we got top four with Frank Lampard. And he had a transfer ban. And he had Tammy Abraham as his striker at the time. He had a young Mason Mount in the team. I can't have excuses for Maresca. I can't. I won't have Maresca making excuses, blaming the fans and all the rest of it. When Frank Lampard, transfer ban, all season, no new signings. You're forced to play your kids. Tammy Abraham, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Mason Mount. He got top four. He got top four. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear excuses. For me, even if we get into the Champions League, unless the owners wake up and sack Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart and sack Maresca and bring in elite sporting director. Campos is right there. You could go and get him this summer. Go and get him. And bring in a manager that is competent. And I'm talking about a manager that has won something, not the championship, but won something. Has won something. There's no excuses. Go and look at Nottingham Forest, their blueprint. Go and look at Bournemouth, how well they've played this season. Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't. I know they got battered by PSG, but bloody hell, like, this is. If we're not careful, I'm telling you from now, if we're not careful, relegation will be not a joke. It will be a serious thing because we're on the brink of uncertainty. There's no leaders, there's no spine. 8 goalkeepers, and not one of them's good. Can't carry on. Yeah, but I get it. They're saying in the chat, investors want the PSG sporting director. Well, let me ask you guys this in the chat. If you looked outside, you was a sporting director or you was a manager or a player now, especially a player. If you're Victor Gyökeres or you're Victor Osimhen or you're this player, that player, and you've just looked at the last 3 years of how this club has been run, especially a sporting director, because that's the key one, isn't it? Sporting director is so key at a football club. It's unbelievable. If you're one of those, would you sign for Chelsea on an 8-year deal? Looking back at the last 3 years, I'm asking guys in the chat, if it was you, would you sign for this football club? Would you agree to leave a club where things probably just running well? You know, Victor Osimhen's in, where is he now? Fenerbahce. Gyökeres is at Sporting, doing okay. You got Real Madrid knocking. You got Man United calling. Liverpool need a striker. You got all these other clubs, but Chelsea might offer you. Well, Chelsea won't offer you more money now because of our wage structure, but they might offer the club more money to get you. Would you sign? Would you sign for Chelsea? I wouldn't. Cole Palmer's probably done the worst thing because I think he had a 9 or 8-year deal, and I'm pretty sure they activated the further year that they could on his deal. Same for Enzo Fernandez. I think Mykhailo Mudryk was the same. I think they extended his, so he's on an 8-year deal. Some of these players are on good money. Raheem Sterling is on excellent money. 300 and something thousand. Ben Chilwell, the same. Reece James, the same. Some of these guys are on big money, big contracts. Now, if someone doesn't come in for them, if someone doesn't come in for Raheem Sterling, do you honestly trust the next sporting director is going to come in and go, actually, I can fix this? Because I don't think they can. I don't know what the solution is. I know what the problems are. I don't know what the solutions are to them. It needs gutting out. First job, got out all the dead weed, get out all the dead players. You know, we ended up with loaning out so many players like Malang Sars and all the rest of it. We're going to be in the same boat again. Because if someone doesn't pick up Raheem Sterling, Mykhailo Mudryk, what's happened to him? I mean, your B sample should be coming back at least 4 weeks. And when was that? Was that like November last year or October last year? We haven't even heard any update on Mudrick. So did the club know? Did the club know what's going on, and they just haven't told anyone? They're waiting till the end of the season. Is there an imminent ban coming for the club? I don't know. Is there something that's going on that potentially we fielded a player in a European competition? So theoretically, there could be ramifications to that. Maybe, but I just think it's weird. We've not heard anything about Mikhailo Mudrick. Um, see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, big up Rich, big up Showman as well, big up Steve. So obvious Maresca is out of his depth. That man is killing the players, but I blame the directors and ownership. 100% agree. Not sure. And one thing I would say that Chelsea are a club with a big pedigree will spend if the right recruitment improves. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to say I agree with that, but again, like, don't forget, there's going to be offers coming in for some of our players. And this club have told us already they want to get rid of 7 or 8 players. That's going to include some big names like maybe a Moises Caicedo, maybe a Enzo, and they'll cash in. If someone's going to offer 100 million for Caicedo, the club might take it and say, actually, we'll just take it. We'll take it. We'll take the loss. We'll take the loss in a year down the road because they don't care about the players or the club or the fans. They're caring about the money and balancing the books. One of the higher earners, I think, Caicedo. Trevor Chalobah, I feel sorry for the lad because he's going. He's going regardless. Whether he wants to stay at Cobham, if he nailed himself down to the doors of Cobham, they would sell the doors at Cobham just to get rid of him. Like he's going in the summer, which is a shame. Sanchez has to go. Gusto might be on that list to go as well. I wouldn't be surprised as well. And Theo, the other Theo who does the podcast with us, he reckons Tariq George and Achiempong are only getting played because we're trying to sell them in the summer. Pure profit. And I agree with that. I wouldn't be surprised if Achiempong or, Tariq George, if a club comes in for one of them, they'd sell them for 30, 40 million and make profit. Pure profit on the books. Probably sell both 40 million each. It's 80 million on the books. So I don't trust these owners. Maresca is safe because if they sack, they're most likely to sack themselves too. Yeah, I think this is a good point, Showman. That's a really good point you're making there because I think the reason Maresca is safe, I think for now, is because it's scrutiny on the sporting directors. So they would have to own up to their bullshit if they sack him. And this is the third time now I think they've got it wrong. Really, they've got it wrong because Potter was not the answer. Pochettino had a very good end to the season, but if we're being honest, his whole season was poor. It was poor football. I mean, if you think back, I know people like to talk about like the back end of Pochettino's time at Chelsea, but it was poor. His football was poor. Um, and then you've got Maresca, who started well, was talking the talk. I was impressed with him, but I honestly think Maresca was riding a wave of new manager bounce, and suddenly, I think when you come out and you tell the media we're not in a title race, I can only imagine what he's saying to those players in the dressing room. If he's coming out and saying that publicly, oh, he must be telling these players, you know what? Have a day off today. Don't turn up to training. Just don't turn up. What is he doing on the training ground with these players? How do you go from first in the league in December and now you're scrambling to make 5th place 4 months later, 5 months later? It's not good enough. Not good enough at all. Um, I got the feeling the sporting directors are the one for the first time under pressure. Iqbali has said no to sporting directors a few times, so that's good news. I think they've always been under pressure. I feel like the sporting directors have always been under pressure. I think the problem is that who do you bring in? It's the same with the manager. Who do you bring in? Who honestly looks at this project now? It wouldn't be so bad if we'd won like an FA Cup, or we were challenging for the league, or we had a goal scorer that was smashing 20 goals in. But there's none of that. There's no one in that team apart from Cole Palmer, Enzo, Caicedo, and Cucurella are the players that you actually know are going to give you a shift. They're going to give you something. Whether it's a bit of trickery from Cole Palmer, or a bit of magic from him, or you're going to get a superb performance from Caicedo in midfield, or you're going to get Cucurella who I think is actually our highest goal scorer at the moment, in Europe anyway. You know, you're gonna get a good. That's it. You're not gonna get anything else from anyone else. So I don't know. I don't know. Let's move on before we wrap up. Let's move on to. In fact, let's go to these two here. Showman saying, as soon as he told the players, pass sideways, pass backwards, or you won't be. That's another good point. Yep, very good point actually. Very good point. And that goes back to what I was saying about Cole Palmer. If you notice, even in the game tomorrow, you'll see it. You know, telling your goalkeeper if you don't play out from the back. Do you know how much pressure you're putting on a goalkeeper that's already under pressure to make sure he plays out from the back? Now, if you want to have those conversations behind closed doors, then of course do that. But to come out in a press conference and say if they don't do what I'm telling them to do, they're not playing. If you do the Pep way, look at Doku, look at Jack Grealish, look at Phil Foden. All of those had magical sparks. And as soon as Pep told him actually stop doing that, yeah, I need you to pass sideways and backwards. You never take the players on. Jadon Sancho never takes his player on. He slows the game down, if anything, Sancho. And then before you know it, it's back to Sanchez. We're building up from the back again. We lose the ball. We make a mistake. It's 1-0 to the other team. So very good point there. No creativity at all. The investors the investors want more experience. I've been told Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer, Enzo, Pedro Neto, Marco Correa, Reece James, Sancho, Ed Barley likes. Moises Caicedo likes Chelsea. The sporting directors can't touch them players. I think everyone is for sale at Chelsea, unfortunately. Whilst I'd love to agree with that, if someone comes and rings for Marco Correa, if Real Madrid come knocking, especially someone like Real Madrid or even like a Barcelona, remember Correa is Spanish, so he'll be off. If the Saudis come in, which has been links with Moises Caicedo, and if they're going to say actually we'll give you 700 grand a week, he's gone. I don't think any of these players. The only player that I think will potentially stay, and the only reason I say this is because Trent looks like he's going to Real Madrid, is Reece James. I don't think there's another avenue for Reece James. I don't know where else he goes, bar Chelsea, and I think he's the only one, and this is why I think it was so important that he came out and spoke after the Legia Warsaw game. He's the only one that can really say he's got the Chelsea DNA. He grew up at the club, so all he knows is Chelsea. So I think he's the only one that stay. Everyone else, I think, is fair competition. They're in the shop window. If we can make profit off them, pack your bags, buddy. You're getting off. You're going to sunny Saudi. Maresca's style is perfect for bottom mid-table teams who are looking to avoid relegation. This is not the style for a top club fighting for honours. I agree, 100% Sherman. I agree. I agree. Yeah, big up you, man. You're spot on with everything. However, the investors are not happy with Barley and want to hold emergency meetings with him. We are in debt with the money. He needs to get paid back. This is what I was trying to say. I think when people thought when we were spending 1 billion, it was coming out their back pocket. That money, I think, has come from JP Morgan and Bank of America. We owe £1 billion. That has to be paid back with interest as well. It's a lot of money. I'd be scared to owe someone £100, let alone £1.6 billion. Big up DJ Sav Sav J in the chat as well. Levi Curwell is at risk. Josh does have a future. I hope so. Tariq George needs to do more. Yes, the investors want Petrovic back. Andre Santos, yes, the sporting directors. Sakar coach, they would have failed. They would sell Tariq George, I think so, for pure profit as well. Yes, Real Madrid couldn't stop Moises Caicedo. Will be staying and shouldn't be telling this, but we are doing Amazon documentary on the team. Interesting. I know Birmingham City are doing one as well. Doesn't surprise me though if we are doing a documentary because that's more money for the club in the owner's back pockets. So it doesn't surprise me at all. At all. Let's move on to the game. Fulham. Let's move over to Fulham because we actually have, I think, a half decent record at Fulham. Let's double check. I'm pretty sure we've got a half decent record at Fulham. The problem is we go into this one with really bad form. Really bad form. Yeah, 0 wins actually. This is a good point. Yeah, 0 wins in our last 5 Premier League away games. Yeah, and Fulham have been actually really good. 3 in their last 5 at Craven Cottage. Yeah, they're going to be a tough nut to crack, I think, Fulham tomorrow. The thing is, I watched them the other day. Sessegnon played well. Awobi played well. The guy up front, what's his name? Muniz. He played well. Pereira played well. Calvin Bassey, Robertson played well the other day when I was watching Fulham. So I'm actually nervous going into this game. I'm actually nervous going into this game. Let me know in the chat if we don't make top four, forget top five. If we don't make top four, and we've got who we've got left now, we've got Fulham. Then I think we play. Is it Everton after that? If we don't make top four, let's check our matches. So we got Everton after. Then we got our non-existent stupid Conference League game. Then we've got Liverpool. Then we've got Newcastle away. We've then got United on the Friday now. That's been moved. And then we play Fulham on the 25th of May. Nottingham Forest are on the 25th of May away. If we don't make top five or top four, let's forget top five. We don't make top four. And even if we do win the Conference League, let's say we get out of those games, Fulham, Everton, Liverpool, Newcastle, United, and Forest. So what's that, 6 games. If we win 2 out of those 4, are we keeping Maresca? Surely he's got. If it's me personally, I would not want to see him lead us through that Club World Cup. I don't want to. I don't want to see him at the Club World Cup. I'll be honest. I don't. Just think. I tell you what, that would be a good sample test of how we will do. That would be a good sample test how we'll do in the Champions League should we make it, because we're coming up against some of the best teams if we progress out of our group. We're in Group D. I think our group's relatively okay, but again, I don't know some of these teams. I don't know the South American teams like that, so they could actually be better than us. This could be Legia Warsaw Part 2. So, yeah, I agree, Steve. We're not winning against Fulham. I agree. Um, yeah, Rich, I hear what you're saying. Fulham are concerned, but what I'm hearing is that the result hurt the players on Thursday. Enzo Caicedo back, want to fight for the coach. Yeah, I agree. Sherman as well. We won't make top 4. Listen, if we don't win, like Fulham, I don't think we're going to win that. I think Everton, 12:30 kickoffs are never like anyway. Everton, nothing really to lose, nothing to play for. They'll be up for the game. Liverpool, unfortunately, I think we have to give them a guard of honor before that game. I'm pretty sure if Liverpool beat whoever they got tomorrow, I can't remember who they've got tomorrow, but if they win that game, the next game after that, and then the game after that is us, the 4th of May. We have to give them a guard of honor, Liverpool. So I don't think we win that game. Then we have to go to St. James's Park, another 12:30 kickoff. Don't like them. We'll lose that. United, draw 1-1 all over it. And then we go to that last game at 4. If he doesn't get at least 4 out of those 6 wins, sack him before the Club World Cup. Get rid of him. Get rid of him, because that's probably the only thing that will wake some of these players up. The sacking of him before the Club World Cup. And the only reason I think the owners might is because they're greedy bastards and they want money. And there's a lot of prize money. I think that the winner gets like close to like 200 million in the Club World Cup. It's a lot of prize money. And I don't think the owners are willing to like pass up on that. That's why I think the owners have said, you need to make sure you compete in the Club World Cup and get as far as you can. And I think that's why we want like the Andre Santos is back and all the rest of it. We want all those players in the squad for the Club World Cup because they want to win it for the money. So, but we can't beat Legia Warsaw. So I don't know what to say to that. Back to Fulham. Back to Fulham. So Fulham currently, as it stands at the moment, they are still really in contention for some sort of European football. They're on 48 points, 9th in the league. We are 6th. City play Everton today. As I said before, we're hoping for a miracle from Everton. There's not really much that can affect our position today. I think there's only a handful of games today. Fulham against us, Ipswich, Arsenal, United, Wolves, Leicester, Liverpool. So Liverpool we know have won the league. United are 14th in the league. Arsenal 2nd. They're not really impacting us in terms of Champions League or nothing. Those spots there, but all we can do is focus on what we need to focus on. And I generally think Fulham is going to be the game for me. If we don't win that, I'm probably looking at the owners to potentially have the phone call Maresca and tell him he's got one more game left. And that game is Everton. And if you don't win that Everton game, Get out the club. Get out the club. Yep. Showman agree. Happy Easter to everyone as well. Um, yep. DJ Sav J agree. Maresco's regressed a lot of our players, especially Cole Palmer. Showman saying he's only interested in himself and his CV. It's obvious. Look at the selections. I agree, 100%. The Club World Cup, a win is it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money for the Club World Cup. But Fulham, Fulham. Let's go back. We lost there December. We won there last January. Oh no, sorry. Let me take all that back. We won in October 2023. Um, they beat us in the January 2023 game as well. So I'm not looking forward to this game at all. I don't have confidence in this team um at all. I really don't. Team selection. I want to hear what you guys are going for in the chat. Who are you picking for your lineup tomorrow? I want to hear what you guys say before I do mine. But the fact that we're underdogs, though, we're underdogs to Fulham. We're underdogs to Fulham. Fulham, we're the underdogs. We're the underdogs to Fulham. I agree with you, Rich. We are the underdogs. But the fact that I'm having to say that out loud and actually agree with it is mental. This is a team. I'm thinking back to Jose, 15 goals conceded all season, back to back Premier Leagues. Victor Moses running down the wing, Fernando Torres, Champions League, and now we're underdogs to Fulham. How the mighty have fallen. Um, Let me know what your. No, I agree, Rich. We are the underdogs, and yeah, Showman, Fulham are doing really well. I'm not disrespecting Fulham. Like I said, I watched them the other day, and they were brilliant. They were brilliant. They were absolutely superb. I'm trying to think who the match was against now. Oh, it was Liverpool. Was it Liverpool? Yeah, I'm on about the Liverpool game. They played amazing in that game. Yeah, Iwobi, Sessignon. That game was brilliant. Um, yeah, my predicted lineup would be who am I going for in goal? Now, obviously, Petrovic had a game on Thursday. Maresca's already come out and said that Sanchez is his number one keeper. Deluded, but he's his number one keeper. So it's going to be Sanchez in goal. As much as I would probably play Petrovic. I wish Jurgensen in goal. Um, but it'll be Sanchez. It'll be Sanchez in goal. Now I'm putting Reece James back at right back. I'm going for Levi Colwell and Trevor Chalobah as my centre backs. Left back will be Marco Correa. Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez in the two in the midfield. I'm going for the right side. In fact, no, let's start with the 10. The 10, I'm going with Cole Palmer. Hasn't worked all season, but I'm going with a squad that I think Maresca would pick. If it was me personally, I'd probably put in Kunku there and I'd put Cole Palmer back on the right, but he's not going to do that. And I think Cole Palmer is definitely more effective off the right than he is as a 10. I think you got to see a lot of it under Pochettino, him coming in, cutting in, taking on the fullback, the left back, and making something happen or creating an assist. That's why he was so effective under Pochettino because he was playing off the right. He's playing as a 10. It's not working for Cole Palmer. But I think Maresca will play Cole Palmer as the 10. Now I'm doing something different. I'm going to put Tariq George in this squad. Bold, might be stupid, but I don't think we've got any other options. I'm not playing Jaden Sancho there. Noni Madweki on the right, I'm not trusting. So George on the left, Pedro Neto on the right, and unfortunately Nicholas Jackson up front because he holds the ball up well. And I agree, that's the only thing I think he does. He was non-existent on Thursday. He's coming back from a fresh injury, or a long-term injury, I should say. I think for me personally, Nicholas Jackson needs the minutes. We need to see what he can do for the next 6 games. So either that or you put Neto as the 9 and then you bring in Noni Madweki on the right. But the fact that we've spent 1.6 billion and that's the lineup I'm going with tells me a lot about the sporting directors. I'm not confident in this team at all. Showman's gone for Sanchez, James for Fafana. Is Fafana fit again? Colwell, Cucurella, Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer, Madweki, George, and Jackson. I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. Yeah. The only thing I'll say about the for me, the centre back partnership can't swap and change all the time. It has to be a consistent one. And I think as much as I don't agree with the two of these, but Trevor Chalobah and Colwell, I think are the best two that we have. Obviously, when Fafana's fit, Fafana comes back into there. But yeah, swapping and changing, tossing I like, but it's got to be a consistent two. Rich has gone for Robert Sanchez, Marco Correa, Trevor Chalobah, Colwell, Tossin, Moises Caicedo, Enzo, Cole Palmer, Sancho, Noni Madweki, and Nicholas Jackson. He's playing Sancho because he's playing for his future. I agree, but again, I take the 5 million hit. If it's true that we can send him back for 5 million, I'd send him back. And the reason I say that is because I don't, not that he's hasn't done enough, but as I said, if no one comes in for Sterling, and then Mudryk is actually found not to be guilty of anything, we don't need that many wire players. And I think, I mean, maybe we need to find out what's happening with Mudryk, and maybe we need to get Sterling off the books and then make a decision about Sancho. I don't know if we can do that. I think the window opens on the 1st of June, so we'll see what happens there. But not mad at neither of those lineups there. I think they're both good. Yeah, Steve, underdogs to Fulham. Can you imagine? Unbelievable. I agree. I agree. I think I need something stronger than water tomorrow to watch them. But um, that would be my lineup anyway. I think I'd throw Tariq George in there. I know it's a big, bold statement, but can he do any worse than Jadon Sancho? Whenever he's, I feel like Tariq George, maybe again because he's come through the youth setup, but I feel like he feels like he knows what it means to play for our football club. Whereas you get certain players who are just on this big money, they don't get the opportunity to play every game, and their head goes down if you go 1-0 down. I don't think Tariq George is like that. I think he's always, even a goal I think he scored on Thursday, albeit offside, he's always willing to try and take on a player, and he's still got that sort of, it's like it hasn't been coached into him yet to pass backwards yet. That hasn't really happened yet. And maybe next season, if he stays at the club, we'll see him, regress a little bit like Cole Palmer. But at the moment, he's still very sparky. He's still got that spark in him. And I like that. And we need someone like that against Fulham because they're going to make it difficult. Robertson, Castagna as well. The wide areas of their defense, they're going to make it difficult for us tomorrow. So, um, yeah, the defense partnership has to be discussed in the emergency meeting. That's on the coach, not the sporting directors. Mudryk will not be. But I agree, Mudryk. I think Mudryk's finished, but I think something's obviously happened because, like I said, the B sample does not take 6 months to come out. Your B sample should take no longer than 4 weeks. Um, we should all know what's happening with him, whether he's going to be sold or whether he's, clearly the club will wait until the end of the season to announce something. But again, he's on an 8-year deal. What do you do with him? How does that work? Do you sack him? Do you terminate his contract? Is he in breach of his contracts because of there's so many unanswered questions with it. So can he then take us to a tribunal? Does it get messy? Do we end up paying out more money for him? So it's just stupid putting these players on these 8-year deals. These death row contracts are going to kill us, literally. Pedro Neto needs to improve, and Pedro Neto is a baller. And watch this lad, and he's a player. I agree. I agree. But that comes back to the point of consistency for Neto. I don't think he's been given, not that he's not been given a run of games because he has, but I think if he was playing under a coach that probably was coaching him a bit better, because one thing we've done with Neto, we've kept him, I mean, when he was at Wolves, he was quite injury prone, and we've kept him quite fit this season. But I think it all comes down to the manager and the coaches. I really do. Um, yeah, he did cost about 88 million. That's another. I didn't mention that for that reason. Showman, yeah, he cost about 88 million, Mudryk, which is why I'm saying I don't think we're going to recover that money. No one's going to want to sign him. So, what do we do there? What do we do? But let's go before we wrap up. Score predictions. I want to hear what everyone's saying in the chat. Score predictions for tomorrow's game. Fulham, Craven Cottage. Bearing in mind, if I'm honest, I can see us losing this game. I see us losing the game massively as well. I think this could be a drumming from Fulham. I don't see us scoring more than 2 goals, and I think in order to beat Fulham, we're going to have to score 2 goals easily. Mistakes will be in our defence. I think we'll be poor at the back. Um, yeah, not looking forward to this one, I'll be honest. Get your score predictions in the chat. Yep, I agree. He's playing him out of position, but then that was one of the questions he was asked when we signed him. Where's his best position? And he couldn't answer the question about Neto. He said he was on the right. Then he started playing him on the left when he was coming on. Then we've had to use him as a 9 as well. Yeah, he's regressed Neto as well. There is a clause in the contract if he breaks conditions with Mudryk. Yep, I agree. They're businessmen, so I'm hoping they have got contracts in there. But he could fight the case, especially if it's taken this long. I don't know. This is why I think they need to come out and address it as well, because we as fans, we want to know what's happening with one of our players. Surely they need to come out and address that. Um, yep, sorry if it pains to say, but I see Fulham winning. I have zero confidence in the manager. I agree. Steve saying 3-1 Fulham. I think it could be a lot worse, if I'm honest. 1-1 if the players stand up, 2-1 to us and take our chances. That's very bold, Rich. I'm going more towards a 3-1 like Steve. I actually think the Thursday game was probably the worst thing that could happen to go into that game on Sunday. Um, I'm going to be honest. I could see 4-0, 4-1. I'll ask you the question: who's scoring the goal for us? Cucurella, Reece James free kick, Cole Palmer penalty. I don't see us scoring an open play goal. Fulham, as I said, are very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Rich is saying he's got Rich is in the know by the sounds of it. He's got some updates on Mudryk. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes of Mudryk. But either way, all we can do is support the club. And that's all we can do. Forget the manager, forget the current players that are there, some that need to be moved on. You know, like I said at the start of this, we've supported this football club through thick and thin. It's painful when you see your club go from the top. The set piece coach as well. I forgot about that. A set piece coach that can't help us defend. We need a defensive set piece coach, not one that can. We don't need one that can try and make us score free kicks. We need one that can help us defend. Um, we support these clubs through thick and thin, but it's annoying when you see the likes of Nottingham Forest, who've done it on a lower scale than us. Newcastle winning a trophy before us in the last couple of years. I know it's their first in over 70 years, but it's still they're showing signs. They're showing signs of progression. Villa showing signs of progression. We could be the United of this season, next season, if we're not careful. Um, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen at the club. I don't know if this emergency meeting is going to change anything, but whatever happens is we need to support the club, not the players, not the manager, the club itself. Um, Appreciate everyone that's been in the chat, getting involved. I appreciate it. I'm trying to do more of these live streams as well as the pre-recorded. So again, appreciate everyone in here. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. It, like someone said in the chat, it only takes a couple of seconds and it's free. Don't cost you nothing. Just subscribe. We're on the road to 800 subscribers. Hopefully we get the win. If we don't, there'll be lots of beer, lots of alcohol drank over Easter. So make sure you enjoy your Easter breaks and we'll be back soon with another video. Thank you very much for watching.